Today, I could easily ignore this week's episode and give my theories on what happened with Ignis and Cyber's Wizard and all that stuff. Or I could acknowledge the events of this week's episode and either do a comedy skit or some sort of hate-filled rant on why we have had 3 recap episodes, about 30 episodes in, and the breaks in between them are getting shorter and shorter. I could do any of those things. I could also bring up how the director of Reigns basically lied to us and said that we would not be getting one of these for a while and that we were going to focus on plot or whatever shit that stupid tweet was 2 or 3 months ago was. I could do all that. Okay, I kind of just did. But today, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about, honestly, for years. Okay, not religiously, but on and off whenever the issue comes up. And I think it's finally time to address what I think we all need to address as Yu-Gi-Oh fans and also anime fans. Shut up, phone. These Yu-Gi-Oh series, they need to be shorter. And I know that might sound crazy to a few, especially because there are some filler arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually really love. One of my favorite arc from the original series is the Waking the Dragons arc, because I love how, since it wasn't adhering to the main story, you could do maybe some darker things and explore some different ideas with characters than you could in the main series. I really like... what else is there? I enjoy those first... Actually, no, that was the only good one. I kind of liked the filler portion in 5Ds after the Dark Signer arc, because it was just kind of interesting, because they used a couple of those filler episodes to see how the city was evolving and all that stuff, but most of that was pointless. Zale, whenever I recommend it to people, I always gotta say the first 10 episodes are very slow and a bit of a slog. Arc 5, I think, was basically ruined by a combination of series length and studio meddling. I've said multiple times how I really can't stand the filler in GX. And with Vrains and its very attempt at an intricate and detailed story, I think it's at the time now where these can't be 100 episodes anymore. Hell, I don't even think anything should be 100 episodes anymore. And it's weird, because when I was a little kid, I hated it when shows I liked ended. I always wanted them to go on forever, because American TV, and before anyone gets on me, there is a lot of great American TV. American TV is kind of just designed to go on forever until people get sick of it or the money runs out. And that's kind of how we are conditioned here. Then you get over to Japan, where when I started getting into anime, and I noticed that these stories were ending. At first, I hated that. I remember when the first Full Metal Alchemist ended, I was like, no, don't go away and have that weird episode 50 ending where Ed dies and the story doesn't get resolved. I remember ones like Eureka 7, Blood Plus, whenever they ended, even as a kid, I had issues with those anime. Maybe I'll bring that up one day in another video. It always bummed me out when they ended, good ending or not, just because it was over and I couldn't watch that anymore. It was always a weird thing, something like Inuyasha, and Inuyasha I think still holds up pretty good. Same with Yu Yu Hakusho. I kind of gravitated towards these because they're not going away. I get my weekly adventures, it just never ends. And something changed in between then and now. And I think something has changed with anime in general. You look at the big shonens nowadays, the only 2 that are expected to just go on forever are Dragon Ball Super and One Piece. I mean, you have Boruto, but Boruto's never going to be as big as Naruto or anything like that. And then all the other big shonens, they don't do 50 episodes a year. My Hero Academia did 12 and then 25. Food Wars did 25, 12, and I guess this season's going to be 25. I don't really follow that too much. And I've noticed the quality is better. Now, I don't watch One Piece, I don't watch Super, I don't watch Boruto, but I've seen enough of current episodes to know I really don't care, and I really don't find it that impressive. The only one of these shonens I'm really willing to follow is Yu-Gi-Oh, but I feel like even Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at the point where it can't support this anymore. We've had 3 recap episodes, and the first thing people will say is, well, it's either that or a 25-minute filler episode. Based on how little animation was in this, like actual new footage, I'm getting the feeling they're not doing this because they don't want to do something with that episode space. I don't think they have the time or the money. Like, the thing is, and the obvious thing to blame is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is run by a dying company that can't keep its shit together, and that probably is part of it. But another part is just the fact that this style of shonen is just kind of dying. And it's weird because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was kind of the first one that would let itself end. When Yu-Gi-Oh! Was out, like, Pokemon's never ending. You had several others that just wanted to keep going, like Beyblade and some of the other shonens from that era. And then, of course, after the first Yu-Gi-Oh! We had the rise of the big 3, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and oh yeah, Bleach actually technically ended. But it was just kind of, we were entering this era, and I think this was just sort of part of the time, was that, yeah, of course, these shows just kind of go on forever. It's the same thing with comic books. Like, I know there will never be the finale to Spider-Man or the finale to Superman. It will go on forever. But the thing is that you look at these shorter series, the quality and the storytelling level is just better. Like, the thing is, My Hero Academia, I didn't go back to it every week for 25 weeks, not because it's just there. I wanted to see what happened next. I couldn't wait for season 2. I wanted to follow Midoriya and Uraraka and everybody in their next level of adventures, and I felt like I was rewarded each week. The beautiful animation, the amazing action scenes. Oh my god, some of the fights. There's a reason there's debates on what gets best fight from that show. The characters, the story, like, everything benefits when you don't have to space everything out 50 episodes. Let's take a look at probably this year's, what will be regarded as this year's biggest fart box, Black Clover, which I don't entirely hate. It is what it is, but what is ruining that show, besides the tired cliches, the boring characters, the dumb non-existent story, the terrible world building? It's so damn dragged out. We're on episode 8 or 9, and I think, we've covered 2 chapters of the manga? Like, I don't read the manga, but that's what I'm being told. Like, it's really freaking bad. And fans of the manga are saying, no, there actually is enough content to get you through the, 50 episodes, Studio Clown, Piero, whatever the hell it's called, the 50 episodes they commissioned? Like, that's crazy! You don't know if it's going to be good, and more importantly, why drag it out that much? Well, because Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, all these things go on forever, so we have to squeeze that material out as badly as possible. Like, it goes back to the old thing about Dragon Ball filler. This exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z, we got nothing done. Tune in next week. And I feel that you just can't anymore. Like, that is the direction. It honestly wouldn't shock me if within the next 2 or 3 years we will see One Piece get slowed down in episode count. We will see Dragon Ball probably just die. I don't know. I don't even care, really. But it's just, this is kind of the direction things have to go in, because you get the better storytelling. And the thing is, I'm not saying there isn't great anime with a lot of episodes. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite television show, period. Between any country, it's that. I think it is the most excellent, awesome, fun, amazing story ever put to screen, and has some of my favorite scenes and action shots and all this stuff ever, and it's 64 episodes. But the difference is they planned it that way, and that, I think, is the other big problem, is you need to plan your story out best what serves your, story. In Full Metal Alchemist, being in that world is just as much part of the experience as watching Ed and Al kick ass. And we get time to explore that world, and we get to have your intricate villain backstories, and we get time for all this and that. And that's great, but that was all planned out ahead of time. I don't know how far Yu-Gi-Oh! Series are planned out in advance based on Arc 5. Not a lot. That's what it kind of felt like. But looking at Vrains, if you took all the content in what's happened, would we even have 25 total episodes? All the filler, all the adding of pointless scenes, all the adding of good but unnecessary humor, the way everything is dragged out. Do we even have 25 full episodes of content here? We probably have about that, but every person I talk to who doesn't watch Reigns or tried it and doesn't want to keep following it has told me that their problem with it is they don't like how slow it is. I'm also getting a lot of Yusaku is boring, but that is a problem here, and I think it's just time. Like, it's time for these to be 25 episodes a year. You can make them look visually gorgeous. You can have a tighter story. You could have better characters. Let's take a look at the other big one, Food Wars. Food Wars is like the biggest anime in the world right now, and that's got a script so fucking clever and intelligent, it almost makes me angry that I could probably never make something like that. And that comes from the fact that, like I said, you can plan and you could pace. Trigger shows! Trigger is a studio, they do one show a year. One. And it is, so far, each one has been one of the biggest animes of their year. Okay, Keys Naiver kind of went out on a whimper, but I loved Little Witch. People are still talking about Kill La Kill. Like, it shouldn't be that your show is good because it just won't go away. It shouldn't be like a lot of American TV, which is people watch it, so we're gonna drag it out. We'll do 12 seasons. We'll make it Preacher takes forever just to get to the thing that started off the Preacher comic. Yeah, no, I just feel just do 25 episodes. Make them a tight 25 each. Do it from like spring to summer. Do it during like main competitive season. And before anyone asks, well, what about the booster sets and the card promotions? There has been such a big separation from anime and the card stuff. Most people probably just forget what's from the anime, what's not anymore. Most people don't care, and most anime stuff is pack filler. You can still do your premium packs or special anime stuff, but the difference is, if you have that good solid 25, people will care. And if you screw something up in that 25, now you have time to figure out what to do because you took time to have a tighter script, like a Food Wars, like a My Hero Academia. Go in that direction, Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys have always tried to do something new or be ahead of the curve or take what's going on and try and figure out a way to make it better, and it's time for that next step. There needs to be something to fundamentally change the way this show is done. Rather it is making a female lead, rather it is changing your visual style, or full-on rebooting the universe. I think doing your episode count based on what is best for the story you want to tell is a great place to start. I'm sorry if this went on way too long. I really just had to get all this off my chest. It's really been bugging me, especially after another recap episode. But in the comment section below, tell me what you think of this. If you think this video's too long, I know. I just really wanted to say all this and give some examples and try and be a bit more intelligent. So, tell me what you think of all this below. And as always, click to like, click subscribe, and let's see if things get better.